Black Ops 6 Zombies' final map is coming to us in a week and a half, probably around August 6th or 7th-ish. I'm not exactly sure which date yet. It has not been officially announced yet. But this week, they have dropped 3 brand new teasers for the map. They typically do this 2 weeks out, and then the following week, they'll either drop a trailer and/or an intro cinematic cutscene. What I'm anticipating is probably next week, we'll get some kind of gameplay trailer, and then possibly on the Monday or Tuesday before the map releases of the week it releases, right before it releases, that's when we'll probably be getting our intro cinematic cutscene if we do get one. And this has been a hot topic in the Zombies community for a couple of months now, because I believe it was the last 2 maps haven't had intro cinematic cutscene, or I know at least one of them didn't, and people had a lot of problems with it. Now, as you can tell by me not even remembering which maps do and which maps don't, I personally don't care all that much, but it still, in my opinion, should be a thing, because it's just part of the all-inclusive Zombies experience. And the prime driver behind that opinion is that 10 years ago in Black Ops 3 Zombies, something like an intro cinematic cutscene and an ending cutscene and boss fights were a staple, and they were to be expected. And now 10 years later, I should not be clawing for things that we had in the past. We should be adding from experience to experience, right? So for that basic principle, that's why I really do want to see a beautiful intro cinematic cutscene and an outro cinematic cutscene. But to be completely honest with you, I rather have, and I know it doesn't work like this, the teams don't necessarily completely overlap at all, but I much rather have an amazing map with a mid-intro cinematic cutscene than a fantastic intro cinematic cutscene and a terrible map. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to say something that always pisses people off for some reason, because they don't understand that it's a video game. It is a game. You are meant to play the game. If you want a story, go read a book, go watch a movie. That is the only point of a story, of a book, and a movie. A video game is meant to be played. I would love a great story. It definitely adds to the overall experience, no doubt. But at the end of the day, the main thing is the gameplay. But despite all that, again, on basic principles, we should have an intro cinematic cutscene. It just does add to the overall experience. Now, getting into the teasers that we got over these last 3 days this week, teaser 1 kind of gives a BO1 style feel in a way to it, at least in the very beginning. And then in the second half, we almost get a Revelations style feel and a really kind of like modern Zombies Dark Ether feel. Like I said, first part, it's very grounded. We're seeing kind of like a 5 or classified type feel. We're even seeing some kind of poison or nova gas type of explosion on the ground after something falls all the way from the top of one of the towers. And then the second portion of this clip shows us what looks like a trench gun shotgun, and then we have what appears to potentially be an OG style teleporter, almost literally like the way that Revelations room looked, the Kino room looked in Revelations, a Kino style teleporter. And we're seeing just tons of dark ether, mushrooms and shrubbery all over the place, some kind of dark ether infestation, which really points to the type of mysteriousness we may see within this map. Because don't forget that there is more than one Janus towers. I believe there's 3 total towers. Well, there's more than one Janus tower. There's 3 total Janus towers. And another thing we see eventually in the other teasers is teleporters. But again, just talking about this first teaser right here, we see this kind of grounded OG style look, the OG kind of poison gas explosion. Then we see a trench gun, which is kind of OG in a way. And then all of a sudden we're hit with the dark ether infestation, which looks really sick. And I'm so excited to see how that area looks. Hopefully it looks a little bit more closer to the dark ether from Cold War Zombies from D Machina than it does to the Tomb's dark ether, though I do think the Tomb's dark ether looks cool in some ways. In some ways it looks fraudulent, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that's the first teaser. There is a lot of cool stuff going on. A great way to kick off the round of teasers that we have going on here. Now moving in to our second teaser. Now this teaser shows us less in terms of what can visually be seen, but in the background could actually have a lot of meaning. So what that means is, if we actually do take a look at this second teaser here, I'm trying to get it pulled up for myself, you see these robots kind of laying around, a bunch of like dead, or I would say non-powered on robots, or malfunctioning robots, I guess would be the word you'd say. And they're even hanging, and it really begs the question, what the heck is going on here? Some people online speculated that this could be Sam, the AI Sam, trying to make a body for herself and maybe failing countless numbers of times. Question is, if that theory is true, and I'll be honest with you, I'm really not caught up completely with the story, but if that's true, then the next question is, was she successful? And if so, where is that robot? Also, is this somehow the way Panzer Robot was made in the next teaser? I don't know. It could be one thing, could be both, could be either or. I'm not sure. So, but this is a really sick teaser, so there could be some backstory there. Another thing we see in the second half of the teaser is this kind of laser pointing at what appears to be some kind of teleporter. Now, originally when I saw this, I just thought of, and if you played IW Zombies, you'll appreciate this. Goated game, by the way, really good game. When I saw this, I thought Beast from Beyond. If you go to like the theater area and you hit that button like on the top before you go down the stairs, you activate a laser that unlocks a teleporter. That's exactly what this reminded me of. So we're seeing these robots, we're seeing this laser, which is probably some kind of teleporter, and then we're seeing some kind of hint towards Pack-a-Punch, because there's quite literally a Pack-a-Punch machine, but it's floating. It's not down. So this, I don't believe this is the Pack-a-Punch area unless there's some kind of mechanism, or unless this is some kind of mechanism to unlock Pack-a-Punch. You even see where the character is actually launched in a way. So maybe this is like an area within the map that we can kind of launch into and then we Pack-a-Punch. I'm not sure. Like maybe we teleport from 3 different areas, and once we teleport from each area, Pack-a-Punch is unlocked. That could be something, but it seems like that there's going to be more than just Pack-a-Punch is right there. And again, it looks like a teleporter in some sense. I'm not really sure what's going on here, but it looks sick. So now we have these robots, potential Sam backstory. We have the Pack-a-Punch going on, teleporter going on. And if you notice in like 1 or 3 frames, if that laser itself isn't some kind of teleporter, it seems like that there may actually be a teleporter in the background of the laser, and it may be red. I'm not really sure what that is either. We're not sure yet at all. But again, there's a lot of cool stuff going on, and what I'm loving about a lot of these teasers is, sure, we're seeing kind of more so a facility style map, which could get basic in a way. Again, talking about the kind of BO1 feel with the 5 or classified type of vibe. It could, if like that was the whole map, it would get really repetitive and look strange. Kind of like the downstairs of D Machina in a way. I don't know. It'll look like a little too clean. Firebase Z is the best example I have. Firebase Z does not look like a zombies map at all. There's like strategically placed stuff turned upside down, and a random fire here, and a random zombie dead there, and a random blood pile. Don't get me started on Firebase Z. In in Black Ops 6 Zombies, they've done a significantly better job, especially in Shattered Veil, at creating an atmosphere that at the very least looks like there was some kind of zombies rampage that went down in there, right? Which is why I'm very excited to see the follow-up to Shattered Veil, and that's also present throughout the other maps in Black Ops 6 in some ways. But I really love to see how they do these towers, especially when we're seeing some kind of robot experimentation, some dark ether experimentation, teleporters everywhere. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in this map. So like there could be a true vibe of straight messiness, of just wildness, craziness, atrophy within these towers. So I'm excited to see what this boils down to. There's a lot of mysterious things so far that we're seeing. Now, moving on to our final teaser. Like I said, this Janus security officer, this teaser is kind of basic. There's nothing too insane about it in terms of like the actual map layout. It's just, you know, a kind of security team trying to go about their life, avoiding the zombie infestation, and then all of a sudden, yeah, that didn't happen. And then we get the Panzer just bitch slapping us, which was pretty cool. And again, it just gives us another look at what the teleporters could look like in this map. If we take a look at the teleporter, it's really hard to tell where it would be teleporting us to. Maybe it actually even is showing us, like maybe if you go through that teleporter, maybe we come out in this area right here. But either way, I think the main takeaway from these teasers is that we can set a kind of groundwork of what's going on. There will be verticality in this map. We will be able to go from the top floor, which we see in the final teaser, to possibly the bottom floor, as we see in the first teaser, and possibly even the middle floor, or in another tower, we have the dark ether infestation. So there's a lot of stuff going on. What is really cool to me is that at any given point in time, say you're in a 3-man team, you could potentially have all 3 of your teammates in a different tower. I wonder if they're also going to build some kind of bridge for the tower. I doubt it would be possible to do that, because I'm pretty sure all 3 of like Liberty Falls, Shattered Veil, and this map are kind of like all within close proximity to each other, and I think you can see each of the maps, so we'd kind of know. I think for the sake of gameplay, it would be cool if they had some kind of other way to transport from tower to tower other than teleporters. Meaning maybe even we have a ground floor within each tower, but there's actually a downstairs area. Like just imagine you spawn on the bottom floor and you can pick which tower you want to go up into, and then you can kind of zip line up to it, right? That would be really sick. There's even rumors that a zip line, or what's it called, a grapple gun, is going to be coming to Black Ops 6 with this season. And if those are true, it could potentially make its appearance inside of Zombies. Now, more than likely, it's not going to be extremely unique like the Ragnaraks or the Skull of Non-Stopway or the Gauntlet of Siegfried, the special buildable weapons from Black Ops 3 Zombies. But if it was, that would make it even cooler. Like say there was some kind of Easter egg to unlock it and it was kind of zombified in a way within this map specifically. That would be so sick, having a grapple gun only in this map and somehow able to use it. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't think there's going to be a grapple gun in this map just because I feel like that poses a crap ton of vulnerabilities when it comes to AFK glitches and different things like that. And I feel like they generally play it safe. Like I feel like they haven't done stuff like that because they don't want people to take advantage and harness gobblegums, which by the way, gotta say something real quick. I really do. We need a double gobblegum. It's like ridiculous. We haven't had a double gobblegum weekend in so long. The gobblegum earn rate is disgusting. There's no Newton's cookbook, which by the way, if you missed my video talking about Newton's cookbook, it was one of my first videos back to the full-time content creation, so didn't gain that much traction right away. And I didn't really like, I'll admit I didn't set it up in the best way possible, because something that people don't want to admit about YouTube when their videos or channels fail is that it's all their fault. There's no such thing as luck. For the most part, it's entirely on you. If your video is good enough, YouTube will feed it to viewers, and if those viewers enjoy it, more people will get it. Completely unrelated to the video, but I see a lot of people say, oh, I was unlucky. No, your videos suck. That's what it comes down to. And my video probably, for a couple of reasons, some in which I'm probably not even aware of, wasn't as good. We need to stop with the pussy bullshit, all right? That's the truth. But either way, good, not good, I will say that with certainty, I have a fantastic solution to bringing Newton's cookbook into Black Ops 6 Zombies, and I would love it still within this game. Probably not gonna happen, but it was more so to talk about BO7 Zombies, how we can get it in BO7 Zombies, especially if there's gobblegum carryover. Please, let's make it happen. This way I don't need to be fiending like a crackhead for double gobblegum weekends. And even then, yay, double gobblegums, let me get 6 killjoys and 0 perkaholics. You know what I mean? It's actually disgusting. The system is rigged. I digress. But yeah, overall, I'm not finished with the video yet, just about, but not yet. Let me know what your thoughts are on the teasers for this map coming next week or in a week and a half. Now, I will say that reports say for a couple of weeks now that the name of DLC 4 is gonna be The Reckoning. I'm not sure if this is true. Nobody's sure if this is true. It's entirely possible that they pull some strings and change the name of the map just to get under leaker skins. Skins? Fortnite? I'm sorry, I need help. I'm trying to make a video, Frankie Beans. What are you doing, huh? I don't care if you're hungry. Friggin' squid, man. Yeah, let me know how you think about, or what you think about these teasers. I'm excited for this map. They left Shattered Veil off on a fantastic note. I just really hope that we have a boss fight in this map. I would also hope that it's more than just a panzer. They really have a chance to go out with a big bang. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's gonna be really hard to do a map like this, because for one, it comes down to how big the map feels for sure. And I discussed earlier, I just realized that I kind of said what I said wrong. Like, there may be a lot of tighter areas, and this is about map size. I discussed it way earlier in the video, but there may be a lot of tighter areas in the map, and those can all add up to a lot of space. But overall, the map could still feel pretty small because of how close together everything is for the most part, if that makes sense, as compared to a map like Liberty Falls where we have such a large spawn room. We kind of have the area by the church, and even though it's a small map, it kind of, you know, it takes a bit to get around. I think the Tomb is another example of a map that was somehow compared to the size of Terminus, I believe, by a couple of people. I don't know. I don't want to talk about the Tomb. I really don't. The Tomb doesn't feel like a large map at all. But either way, I have to stop just going off into multiple different tangents in my videos. I apologize. The only reason or reasons that I'm concerned about this map, like I said, one is the map size. I really hope that the map is laid out appropriately so that there's appropriate play area, and it could be fun to play no matter if you're a good zombies player, a bad zombies player. Even as somebody who, despite some of the streams you may watch over on Twitch at twitch.tv/jomat123, even though you'll watch me get smoked sometimes, I would generally consider myself a very, very good zombies player, right? Not in the top 1%, but I get the job done. Even though that's the case, I don't enjoy tighter maps. I really don't. I don't like the idea that a map could be so tight in one area that if you're running through a doorway with a zombie, you can practically get stopped. Not a fan of stuff like that. So adequate spacing in the map, appropriate feel would be nice. Now, another thing I'm concerned about with this map is how the transportation is done. An example I'll give you is the spawn area in Firebase C to the main area in Firebase C. For whatever reason, they decided to stick a teleporter right in the middle of those two areas. For the sake, I understand that it may be in different spots geographically, but for the sake of the game, there should have never been a teleporter on that map at all. It completely ruined the flow of the map, in my opinion. So I'm really hoping that there's some kind of very solid map flow, and our maneuverability from tower to tower is is very good in multiple different ways, other than just, okay, at the top of the map there's a teleporter, at the bottom of the map there's a teleporter. Hopefully, like I said, it would be sick if there were grapple guns or zip lines and stuff like that, but hopefully everything just feels natural, right? Unlike the Firebase teleporter situation. Now, another thing I was concerned about was bosses in this map, but now that I see we have a brand new boss, for the most part, still a Panzer, but new type of Panzer as well. Hopefully he has some new mechanics. What I will say is I hope we don't have boss spam on this map like we do or used to in the older or the intro period of Black Ops 6 Zombies. They seem to have tamed it down on all of the maps, but especially on Shattered Vale, it most obviously is not there, and I hope that trend continues. And I think overall, as long as they do that, obviously the Easter egg has to be replayable and super fun like Shattered Vale and its boss fight, but just from a basic standpoint, if the maneuverability from tower to tower is good and the gameplay area within each actual area that you're in at any given point in the map is solid, no boss spam, I think we'll be set up okay. Now, something we haven't seen is the Wonder Weapon, which is very surprising in my opinion, and I think we'll get a sneak peek of that in the trailer. I think that's pretty obvious, but hopefully the Wonder Weapon is good. I'm typically a fan of multiple elemental Wonder Weapons or just more than one. This way you can kind of vary how you play the game, and if there are multiple people in the game, multiple people can kind of enjoy their own Wonder Weapon in a way, kind of like the bows from THEORIZE and Drac, the staves from Origins. But either way, even if it is a single Wonder Weapon, that's absolutely fine. I just hope it's an effective, efficient Wonder Weapon, and most importantly, is very fun to use. Now, rumors are indicating that this Wonder Weapon is going to be some kind of pistol, and a lot of people are saying that it could be Alistair's Folly from Dead of the Night returning. First off, I hope that's not the case. I'm tired of seeing Wonder Weapons return. I would love for a brand new Wonder Weapon to be brought into the game, even though I love Alistair's Folly from Dead of the Night. But we need to stop unifying zombies maps. We need to make them all unique in their own ways. But either way, let's say that there is a returning Wonder Weapon. I do say that probably the most likely outcome is that it's some kind of Alistair's Folly Wonder Weapon. It probably won't be a direct one-for-one take from Dead of the Night. It'll probably be very similar. And I think it's likely that that probably is it. But I don't know, man. There's just some part of me screaming Ray Gun Mark III. Now, this is probably wrong, and I'm basing this off of absolutely nothing, but I'm just getting some kind of weird feel that it's gonna be a Ray Gun Mark III Wonder Weapon from Gorod Krovi. And part of me also feels that it could potentially not be like the second part that kind of shoots the blaster, and it would just be like the gun, the actual single gun. But I think I'm just getting psychopathic in my head. But hey, what's the point of zombies if we can't theorize, right? Or speculate. Oh, also another thing that people brought up a lot was that it could be the Cerberus from Mauer der Toten, my favorite map in Black Ops Cold War Zombies. I mean, in all honesty, that is the most likely outcome. I'll say that's number one. Number two is Alistair's Folly. And then number three, maybe what I said, but probably not. That's probably like number 10 in terms of options. I would just ignore what I said because that's probably delusional. If it is a pistol Wonder Weapon, if the rumors are correct, the Cerberus is probably the most likely outcome that I'm thinking about it now, because I believe they even showed it in a Modern Warfare Zombies cutscene, and it was just like never in that game. And I know a lot of people enjoyed the Cerberus. So whatever, we're gonna have to wait and see. Let me know again what your thoughts are down below in the comments on all of this. Take care of you meatballs, guys. Peace.